My name's Andrew, this is Franklin, and welcome to our van build. Come and have a look. So, I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about the van. So, this is a Mercedes Sprinter long wheelbase 2015 model. It was £10,400, and after we bought it, probably need to spend about £1,000 on it to bring it up to a good standard. It's got new wheels, new everything now, so very happy with it. It was a bit tricky to find, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about why we chose a Mercedes Sprinter in another video, but it was definitely just the right one for us. So, without further ado, let's have a look. So this is the kitchen area. At the top here, we've got a cupboard that's got all our bowls, plates, and just blender and kind of some bits and bobs in there, an oven dish, etc. That's in there. Just here we've got a hatch through to the cab. It's not big enough for anyone to get through. Maybe Franklin could squeeze through, but it's more just to be able to see what's going on at the front if there's anything happening. And that closes just like that. We've got a knife rack from IKEA. Very nice knife rack, and would definitely recommend it. And then we've got the spice racks on the wall. These are built into the bathroom wall, and they've got LED on them so that we can see nice and easily. And we've got also some feature lighting in the kitchen here, all controlled by this switch just here. Then electrically, we've got USBs if we need to charge anything while we're in the kitchen. We've got 12-volt plug just here, if I can get it open. There we go. 12-volt plug just here in case we get a 12-volt toaster or anything like that. And then we've got a 240-volt socket and all the light switches here as well. The kitchen top is also from IKEA. Really good price, and I think it looks quite sleek. The blackness of it is definitely goes in with the rest of the feel of the van. And then we've got our oven. It's a Voyager 4500 oven, grill and double hob. The oven, as you can see just here, is big enough for some pizza and some chips, something along those lines. And then we've got the grill just here that's perfect for toast on a morning. And we've got two hob burners at the top. They both work, well, the whole oven works on LPG, and it just means that it's super good for us to be able to cook. I've lived in a van in Australia for 18 months and in France for a little bit, and we didn't have an oven in any of those vans, and I knew that if I was going to live in somewhere I needed to have an oven. It's very important to me, and to be able to have a variety of food that the oven is able to cook, so it was an essential part of the van. Then we've got our cutlery drawer, which is pretty self-explanatory. A little storage cupboard down here which holds some dry goods, bread, milk, Alpro milk, etc., those kind of things, and some stuff down there for the bathroom, towels, etc., because it's right next to the bathroom. And then we've got the pan drawer just down here, again pretty self-explanatory. Pans, lids and sieves, etc. in here. And then we've got a little hidden glass drawer as well, with a holder in there to stop the glasses from moving around when we drive. Also, to stop these moving around when we drive, they've got little latches on the top that when we push them in, they click into place like that. We found that even this pan drawer didn't really stay in place if we were driving up hills, or if we had to accelerate up a hill for any reason. So we've also fitted in a little lock down here, which is just a hidden catch, and that goes across and it locks this pan drawer in place. It was quite important because I didn't want the van to feel like a van inside it. I wanted it to feel like a home, so I didn't want locks everywhere holding things in place. So I thought it was quite important to have these hidden away as best as possible out the way. So see as we go through that this is kind of the general theme of how it works. Don't bother coming down, stay where you are. But we have a Max Air fan just here. This is a Max Air Deluxe, I think, maybe something like that, and it's brilliant. Air XL maybe, according to this remote. Absolutely fantastic. When we're cooking, you can just turn it on and it just takes everything out. If it's hot outside, it can blow in. It can be very powerful. You can go from anything from 10% to 100%, and it opens up. It can be used when it's raining as well, which is really handy because it means that we don't have to only cook in the sunshine, which would be quite awkward. Then moving on, we've got our pantry, which is one of my favourite parts of the van. It's just a godsend really for being able to hold stuff in. It's 500ml deep and there's 5 shelves on it. You can hold everything in here from sauces, pasta, rice, spices, utensils, chopping board, coffee and oils, everything like that. So this pantry is an absolute godsend. Can't imagine what we'd do without it. And the pantry, unfortunately there was no way of me being able to lock this away without it being seen. It was definitely very important to make sure it was locked because when it's full it's quite heavy. If we go around a corner it would slide. So it's got a couple of locks, one at the top and one at the bottom. And with that we can lock it in place. Moving on to the kitchen sink. Again, love cooking and love eating, etc. So the kitchen sink was important because obviously you've got to wash up afterwards. IKEA tap, you're kind of getting a theme here. The sink was from some online company, really nice sink, very deep, good for being able to do dishes, and just a soap dispenser here, which means that the soap's always easy to reach and we don't have to worry about it moving around when we drive, etc. In the kitchen cupboard we've got the bin, which is on has a lid that opens up when we open the door. Franklin's food, some toilet roll, the Hoover we've got in there and everything else. So yeah, it's just a utility cupboard as such. Right, if you want to come this way then I'll show you the rest of the kitchen. Here we have got the fridge and freezer. It's a really important part of the whole build for me. Cold drinks are like be all and end all as far as I'm concerned. I like fresh produce. I also like the ease of having a freezer. You can get frozen pizzas, ice, anything like that, and it just makes life a lot easier. It's a 240 volt fridge, again from IKEA, and it works off our inverter. And that leads me nicely onto our electrics. So that's the kitchen finished, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the system that kind of works in the background of all this that you see. So first I'll start with electrics, then we'll talk about water, and then we'll go into a little bit about LPG. So electrics, I'm actually an electrician, which made this a lot easier for me, but that being said, I wouldn't say it was easy. House electrics and van electrics are very different, so it still did take some learning for me. So anybody that's out there doing it now, do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions. If you're unsure, get a professional to do it. But it's not easy. So if you're feeling like it's a bit daunting and it's a bit too much for you, don't worry. You're not the only one. Even I was a bit overwhelmed by it all at one stage. So our electrics work. We have 3 ways of powering our electrics, 2 off-grid and 1 via the mains. So we have our solar, which is 2 180 watt solar panels on the roof. They power a Victron 100 to 30 MPPT, and that then powers our batteries. We've got 2 110 amp hour I've forgotten the word for it. I can't think of the word for it. It will come to me. They're not lithium. They're the leisure battery, AGM leisure battery. That's what they are. They are two 110 amp hour AGM leisure batteries. So altogether we have 220 amp hour of power. So that can be charged from our solar inverter. It's also charged when we drive the van. So when we drive the van alternator powers a DC to DC charger that then charges the batteries as well. To run the batteries, we would need probably about 6 to 8 hours of solar. It's a wasp. Come on, mate. Play the game. Go on, get out. Get out. Thank you. Right, to charge the batteries from pretty much completely flat to full, we need 6 to 8 hours of solar, good sunshine in the summer, or drive for between 3 to 4 hours. They're the kind of two options that we have to be able to fully charge the batteries. A fully charged battery in winter, for example, when we use a little bit more electricity, would last us about 5 to 6 days. In the summer, a fully charged battery without any solar or anything going back into it would probably last us 7 to 8 days. And the difference is that we don't use the heating as much in the summer at all in the summer. Granted, the fridge gets a little bit more use in the summer, but it evens itself out over the time. So that's what we've got for that. We also have 240 to 12 volt charger that works from, if we plug in to the shore power. We have a shore hookup, but in 8 months we've never hooked up to it yet. It was probably a little bit of an overkill by an electrician doing the install, and probably didn't need to be done in the end, but hey, well, it's done, it's in. So the 240 volt that we have powers the fridge, and it powers a socket at the front here. It powers a socket that you've seen in the kitchen already, and it powers a socket in the garage. We use that for blenders, charging laptops. Well, my laptop doesn't charge on USB. Fanny's MacBook does, so that makes that a little bit easier. Fanny uses hairdryer as well for her, but generally most of the stuff that we have works on 12 volt. But you know, fridge, etc., we just had to go 20 for 240 volt for that. The rest of the electrics, the 12 volt side of it, works through a 10-way DC fuse box that powers our lights, it powers our USBs, it powers our TVs, it powers the toilet fan, it powers the heating, the hot water. What else does it power? The fan, most of the chargers, well, nearly all the chargers in fact. I think that's about it really. Yeah, the lights, yeah, that's everything. And the majority of it runs through here, which is our charging cupboard. And the charging cupboard, we've got switches here for the Max Air fan, we've got a switch here for the LPG, we've got a switch for the toilet fan, and also a switch for the Max Air fan as well. Here we've got isolator that works, so at the minute it's on 1. That means that the van is being powered by our inverter. If I was to switch this over to 0, then I would kill all the 240 volt power to the van, and if I moved it over to 2, it would work on shore power. So if we plugged in, I could flip it over to 2, give the inverter a rest, and we would still have 240 volt power, the fridge would still work, etc, etc. Then we've also got the USBs down here, so we've got 6 USBs down here, a USB-C charger, and another USB, and then another 12 volt plug as well. So this cupboard is really handy because we charge everything in here. So our drones, phones, toothbrushes, gimbals for the camera, laptops, phones if needed, speaker, all get charged in there. Headphones also get charged in there, and it just means that we can plug it in, put it down there, and we can forget about it. It's not cluttering the van. Really makes life a lot easier in here. So that's the electrical side of it. If anybody does want any more information about electrical, it's one thing that I can help you with. Just drop something in the comments, ask a question, let me know. I'll be happy to help. And yeah, I'll more than happily have a look at anyone's plans or anything like that. So drop it in the comments and we can talk about it for sure. So that's the electric, and then we've got the water. So the water, we've got a 150 litre baffled water tank that's in the garage, and it works. We've got a feed that comes in the back door, so we can fill it full of water, and generally that water, if we don't drink from it, will last 5, 6, 7 days. That's with showering every day, cooking every day, but not drinking. If we drink from it, probably 4 days, because we do. It's surprising how much you drink. That then goes to a show flow 12 volt pump that powers it around the water system. The show flow 12 volt pump has got an accumulator in there. If it didn't, then we would have got an accumulator, because I think it's pretty important to not have the pump kicking in every now and again, and the accumulator stops that happening. The pump is just at the other side of this wall here. You can't see it or anything, but that's where it is. And then from there it goes down here into what is our combi boiler, which we'll get into in a bit, and carries on to the sink and to the bathroom, to the shower as well. From the combi boiler, from the combi boiler, we have also the hot water that also runs into the sink and into the bathroom as well. And then to the back in the garage, we've got a little hose, well, a big hose actually in the back of there. That means we can shower outside, hose Frank down if he gets muddy on a walk, hose the bikes down, the skis down, anything like that. It's a really handy hose. We'll get to that when we get to the garage, area. Water's really not my thing. Water and electrics don't mix, and that works for me as well. I am not very good when it comes to plumbing, but we just used John Guest push fit fittings, and it was pretty straightforward, to be fair. I had some choice words said on the installation, I've got to admit, but in the end it worked well, and I only had one leak, and I sorted that out very quickly. So yeah, I was happy with that in the end. So that's our plumbing setup, and then we've got our LPG. So our LPG is 38 litre underslung LPG tank, and it comes underneath the van up to a manifold which is underneath the sink here. It's a 3-way manifold. We actually only need 2 of them. One of the outlets of the manifold comes into the combi boiler, and the other one feeds the oven. So really simple setup, but I did have a lifter for the van, so we could work on it properly. If I didn't have the lifter for the van and couldn't actually work at it at head height, it would be a difficult thing to do for yourself. But I've seen lots of people do it, and it is definitely doable. But if you have access to a friend or someone in the garage or something like that, and you can get your van up, then I would definitely recommend to get your van up, because it just makes life a lot easier, and it makes the job a lot better as well. So yeah, that's the LPG, the water and the electrics. I think the reason why that was so important to us was because we wanted to be as off-grid as possible, and I didn't want to have to rely on anything as such. It also covers us for a few bases as well. So for example, with the oven being on LPG, if for some reason our electrics went and we were in the Alps in the middle of winter, we could turn the oven on, which is on LPG, and we would have a heating source from that. Likewise with the oven, if our LPG went off, we have a small electric cooker that we could cook from, and it means that we're covered in every kind of which way possible. Yeah, that was quite important for me on the build. So now that we've covered kind of behind the scenes stuff, we've done the kitchen and we've done the electrics, plumbing and gas, then let's talk a little bit about the bathroom. So as you can see, we've got the light switch for the bathroom just here, and this is the bathroom. I'm going to get in so you can have a look and see what it's like. So this is me in the bathroom. This is our toilet. It's a Simplu toilet. It's really nice, a really good looking toilet actually, and works an absolute treat. There's a small fan on it that it uses to take any smells away. It takes the smells away and gets rid of them, and in here you never know that anything, you wouldn't know that it's a toilet as such. It's exactly the same as the rest of the van. Here we've got our shower. It's both hot and cold fed, so it's really handy. Again, another part of being off grid was really important that we had a shower. And we've also got a little heater blower that comes into here as well. And in the winter this is an absolute godsend, because it means that this shower room gets really warm when the heating's on and it doesn't get left out. We've also got toothbrush holders and shower gel holders, and some hooks for drying stuff in here as well, which is really, I think it's really been really important. And we've also got the mirror on the door. The shower, I'm going to sit here and talk to you about the shower. The shower was it was a big bone of contention for me about how the best way to do it was. I ended up ordering a custom made plastic shower tray with a hole in it that was the right size and in the right position for where we needed it. If anyone's got any questions about that, let me know. And it's worked really well. We've got the drain that goes out underneath, feeds into our grey water tank. I will go into that. Feeds our grey water tank, and on the walls we've used Altro, which is just a plastic wall. Just a plastic wall. I don't really know how much more to say about that. It's brilliant. It means that the walls are all done in one piece and very waterproof. And then to break it up, we use this kind of stone effect plastic on this back side just here, which gives it a nice, stops it looking like a kind of hospital. So yeah, that's that. The door was pretty simple to make, to be honest. It's just from some 18mm timber with Altro on the outside of it, and then it's got a little latch at the top that just holds it in place, just up there, and that clips into there, and then that's it. Turn that light off. So just a quick bit about the grey water tank, because I have mentioned it twice now. The grey water tank is a 8-inch waste pipe underneath the van that are mounted on 2 unistruts, and it's about 1.4 meters long, sealed at both ends, and it's got a solenoid valve on the end of it. So how it works is the water from the sink and from the bathroom goes down into the into the wastewater tank, and it can be stored down there 50 litres, probably 2 to 3 days if needed. But what it means is that when we're somewhere suitable, we can flick the solenoid from either in here or the driver cab. We can flick the solenoid, it opens up the solenoid, and it means that we can release the grey water. There's never anything bad in there because the washing up liquid that we use is safe, and we only use safe shower products as well. So when we dump it, it's not black water, it's grey. So that's the difference, and it's brilliant. It means that if we need to, shower in the city or something like that, it's no problem, because we know that in 2 days' time that we need to leave and make sure that we can empty the grey water. So yeah, it's been a brilliant part of the build. I think, dining area. So this is the dining area just here that you can see. There's a small seat on this side, and then the bigger one on that side, which can be used to kind of lay out on a little bit as well. And the eventual thing that will happen with this that hasn't quite happened yet is that this table just here, which is our dining table, will come out like this, and will become the third bed, like so. It's not quite happened yet, but it's all designed, ready to go. It's just that we don't really need a third space here at the minute. So yeah, that's how that is. But so dining table. Slide out dining table, just made of timber. Really simple setup. Got some 500mm sliders on it, I think, and it's brilliant. Means that we can eat comfortably and do anything, play games, whatever, and yeah, it makes life very easy. When we're not using it, it just slides away. And then onto the bedroom area. But first, I'm just going to explain the heating and hot water system that we've got. So, just under here, we have our Truma 4E combi boiler. Just in there. And it's been fantastic. It's a thermostatic setup, so we have a controller just here that we can program to whatever temperature we want, and it automatically will keep the van at that temperature. Also works on hot water, so here we've got hot at the minute. You can put it on eco or you can turn it off. So now hot water's off. This is the heating, so if I've turned the heating up to, I don't know, 30 degrees, I don't even think it'd kick in today because it's probably 30 degrees outside. But we can set it to whatever we want, 21. Hot water, put hot water back to on, turn the van heating off, and then you can see there that that's how it works. It can also work on electric, but we didn't go for that. We just went for the LPG side of it. The hot water powers our kitchen sink, it powers our shower, and the heating comes out of blowers. We've got two in the seat front just there. We've got one, as you've seen already, in the bathroom, and we've got one in the garage. And it just keeps the garage a little bit, which takes the chill off the garage in the winter. Also, part of the dining area is my TV. Very important part of the build. I really like watching TV. I love sport. Love watching sport, so I get to watch things on there. And anyone asking about the internet, etc., I just hotspot it from my phone. In future, I may think about getting Wi-Fi, like a 12-volt Wi-Fi type setup for the van, because we do fly through internet. But for now, it's working okay, so we'll just probably go with that. Yeah, that's the TV. So, onto bedroom. That's where the magic happens. Come in. So, we've got a, guess where this is from? IKEA mattress. Yep. So this is a 140cm by 2m IKEA mattress. Memory foam, unbelievably comfy, so good. Really, it was very important for me to have a good night's sleep. So for a memory foam mattress was very essential as far as I was concerned. and yeah, don't regret it in any way, shape or form either. It's been brilliant. On the side here we've got our cupboards, essentially our wardrobes. Decided to go with bungee in here as opposed to cupboard doors, just A for weight and B for ease of being able to access everything. And then down here we've got containers with everything in, and then underneath here we have also like a secret container just down here that houses stuff that maybe we don't need to get to kind of every day. That's how that one works. And then this one is the laundry chute, which is an absolute godsend. So just down here, see that hidden in there, we've got our laundry chute. It means that any dirty clothes, etc., they can go into there. They go into a bag which is housed down in the garage, and that can get forgotten about until it comes around to laundry day, and then we can go and do laundry from the bag. So yeah, that's how that works. Up here we've also got 12-volt sockets, 12-volt sockets just here, and on both sides of the bed we've got the same, and light switch that does both the main lights and the mood lighting down in the bottom, just down there. In here we've got the roof light, which is, I think, Max Air roof light. I think it's the same brand as that. I've got to admit, this one was not as good as that one. For some reason it was very different to fit and very awkward to fit, and I wasn't a fan of this, but I am a fan of the actual light of the roof light. There's a mosquito option here, and then there's a nighttime option just there as well. So it is good, but fitting it was awkward. I'll say awkward at best. And I'd say last but not least is Franklin's little dog bowls. So there's only one in here at the minute. He's got the other one out there. It's got full of water. So it just means that Franklin can easily get to all his stuff, and it means that it slides out of the way when it's not needed. Another couple of things just before I move on to the garage and the kind of roof terrace, but probably my favourite parts of the, well, I've said that a lot maybe, but these are definitely my favourite parts of the build. So I've got my little axe, which we use for chopping wood. We've got a little fireplace that we can make when we're out at suitable places, and that just goes in there, hooks in there nicely. And in here that comes off just like this, and then we've got a slide out beer keg and a slide out coffee machine. This is a sub keg, holds 2 litres of beer, and you can just refill it from here. So right now it's got a Heineken in there, and it keeps the beer nice and cold, and you can pull it on draft. Coffee machine, just a standard Nespresso coffee machine, makes for a real nice coffee in the morning to get you going. And then finally, definitely finally this time, up here, attached to the roof rack, is a bar like this, and it's got a few different options this far. Now, wait there, I'll be back. This is a hanging chair, and hooks up into there just like that. And then you can just chill out in front of the van on the seat. Me and Franklin just chilling. Very, very nice spot to have a beer or a morning glass of orange juice. Very sophisticated. And that is it for the main part of the van. If you'd like to follow and subscribe to the channel, that'd be amazing. Appreciate any support. And after this, we will be going into a little bit more detail in the garage area and also the roof rack. And we've got some pretty cool stuff in the back of there. Yeah, so thanks very much for listening and watching, and look forward to keeping you up to date with everything that's going on. Take it easy.